cracky sound. Takes that. Of course, it's going to get louder, but it gives that ka. It does that thing which we all love. Hey everybody, Donald Forrest Williams. I am the original drummer of Big Wreck back in the day. That song, The Oath, Blown Wide Open, Under the Lighthouse, all that stuff. We broke up in 2003 and then I started a new career and raised my twin boys. They're now 21. A few years ago I got back into audio and recording and drums. I got my drums set up upstairs in a beautiful room with a cathedral ceiling. And I really love to take out my toys, which are my microphones and my drums, and create music. Mostly I record drums for people who are looking just for a solid drums, and they know how to finish their track, they know how to produce everything else and release it. If you don't know how to do that, I can do the whole production for a reasonable price. This is for people who can't afford to go to a studio, but they want quality drums, because a song is not good if you don't have good drums. You need to have the foundation of a good drummer, a good drum track. I do multiple takes, edit it all together, and then I listen to it. I lay on my bed with the headphones, or I look out the window with the headphones and listen to myself, figure out what's working, what's not working, so you end up with a great drum track. If you know how to do everything else, great. There you go. That's $275. And then if you want full production, use my friend and latest client, Dave, who's a great guy. I had a great experience with him. He's just so nice, so talented. Songwriter, he played the guitar, bass, sang. He got me through SoundBetter, which is a site online. You can go there and then you're not directly sending me money on PayPal, and because maybe you don't know me, you never work with me, and you just want a reasonable priced drummer producer who can do everything from beginning to release on Spotify. After you get it out, I can even show you how to do social media, which is a beast in itself, but it's a necessary thing that I've had to learn how to do as an independent artist. So he sent me a request on SoundBetter. They're like a middleman. You give SoundBetter the money and we agree on the terms. Like, I'm gonna produce your song with my drums and it's gonna be done around this time, and when it's done, they release the money to me. If you're satisfied with his result, that's what I would do if I was working with somebody new. I go on SoundBetter. I become your guide to producing. First thing we do is generally, in this case with Dave, he sent me a couple of songs and we decided which song we wanted to do. I've had guys send me 20 songs. We hone it down to 3 or 4 songs that we're gonna do, or we hone it down, and when we pick the first song we're gonna do, and then we work on the arrangement. The arrangement could be, the song's 7 minutes long and we cut it down to 4 or 3. If you want it 7 minutes, I just did one for another client. It was a 7-minute song and it had to be a 7-minute song. But if it doesn't have to be a 7-minute song and you want some advice on cutting it down and arranging it, I'm pretty confident in my choices. Of course, your choices, it's always your choice in the end, and how you do everything. I just make suggestions. I'm here to bounce ideas off, and if you want to take my advice, then you can. If you don't, you don't. I mean, you're the artist. I'm here to serve you. So after we do the arranging, I get right onto the drums. I put the arrangement on I use Logic, but it doesn't matter what you use, because in SoundBetter or email, Dropbox, where it doesn't matter, you just take your files and just send them. It's great. It's amazing. You can do that these days and just do all this online, which is typically what I do. People come in sometimes and record live. I've done plenty of that as well. And I would love that if you could come do your vocals here. I've got Neumann mics. I've got Neve preamps. I can be here and coach you as you do something live. That's great. And most people just don't live near me. So this is kind of like an outside chance that you'd be at my house, but you're welcome to come to my house. So I live in Massachusetts. So I work with a lot of people in Canada, the West Coast, middle of the country. So hey, if you can make it by, come by. We'll get some stuff done. It'll be fun. And you can see all my toys. So I do drums next. So I set up all the mics fresh every time. I don't leave them set up because it's my home and I don't want to look at my mics and my cables all over the house all week long. So I just set them up as needed. I plug them in upstairs. I run the wires down here and I put on my headphones, and I've got an app on my phone that connects to Logic. I can record, play back. I listen to it with producer ears and not drummer ears. I'm not trying to show off. I'm trying to support the song. Get a nice solid drum track together. I send it to you. Okay, you want some changes, whatever. I have you know that I'm recording them on which day so you can stay close to your phone and your email. If there's something you want me to do differently, I can just jump in there and make those changes. So then we've got the drums. I send the drums to you. I can send you all the different mics, but I also send you a nice stereo rough mix of the drums in stereo, so you can just drop them into whatever you're using, whatever software you're using. GarageBand is fine. Whatever you have, put it in there, and then get to work on bass guitar. You want to do bass next, get the foundation. In this case with Dave, his bass he had was an Ibanez. He was running it in direct. It was okay, but I'm like, oh man, if you could you get a bass, a little bit better bass, like just a P bass? And he got this nice P bass, but that improved it. While he was doing that, before he actually did the track with the P bass, I also put the suggestion out now of buying something else. Now you don't have to buy anything else, but sometimes like a few key things are important when you're recording, and one of those things, a key thing, even more important than an expensive microphone, is a mic preamp. I always suggest getting a BAE 1073. They have single channels or double channels. Single channels like $1,000, double channels $1,600. This is on the used market, but used is just as good as new as long as somebody took care of it. They don't break. They're copies of Neve, 70s Neve 80 series console stuff. It makes everything sound better. So he ended up buying a bass, or borrowing a bass and buying this BAE. He got a great deal on it and he plugged into it, and he was like, oh, what's this gonna do for me before he got it? And then when he got it, he totally got it. It just opens up the sound, makes everything sound clear, fuller, more musical. It's like magic. It's unbelievable. When I first went to a studio and recorded up in Canada with Matt DiMatteo and Chris Wardman with Big Rec, and we recorded on a Neve 80 series console from the 70s, A-class discrete electronics. Oh my God. I immediately bought one when I got home, just a 2-channel vintage Neves, a couple of channels of those, but these BAEs are so good and they're so new, they're more reliable. I recommend the BAEs. They're perfect recreations. It just makes a huge difference. So, I can help you with that too, with the gear. I mean, what mics do I use on my guitar? Should I do this? Should I do that? I'm there to help you with everything. We talk through it and we get the best results we can. You send me the bass, I listen to the bass, make sure it sets in good with the drums, and then we move on to guitars, keyboards, piano. Hey, do you have a real piano? Do you have the mini piano on the computer? That's fine. You send me it. I say, well, maybe dig up like a B3 emulation and do this. And we just kind of talk our way through until we've got what we need. The guitar tracks with Dave, he was using what do you call it? Oh my God. Sometimes when you talk and it's being recorded, you forget how to talk and you forget everything. But he was using the modelers, amp modelers, which are great. They're amazing. Sometimes I can't tell the difference between a modeler and a real amp. They've just gotten so good. So we made sure he was using the latest version. And then I said, also, if you could dig up a real amp, like even if it's piece of crap, and put a SM57, which is a $100 Shure microphone, on it, and put it right in the middle of the cone. And I explained how to put the mic on it, really simple, right in the middle of the cone, and then run it into his new BAE preamp, and we got some real guitar mixed in with the amp simulators, and it was just a huge improvement. It added so much texture and depth. And then, we did some embellishments. Once the music part of it's all done, then we go to vocals, and he did a few vocal takes. There was a part where in the beginning I couldn't hear the word that I could read in the lyrics that I thought was really important. The very beginning of the song, it wasn't intelligible. Other than that, it was really great. So, he fixed that, sent a new new take of that. He tried some harmonies. I tried doubling the vocals, and we just, do all the basic stuff that you do in a studio. And then I go on to mixing. Once we're happy with everything, I mix it. I'm making this video because Dave asked specifically for the settings that I use for mixing. So at the end of this video, I'm going to go through the settings for his song, Better Weather, how I mix the song. I'm going to show him, you, whoever wants to know exactly how I mix. I'm not a professional mixer. Well, I guess I am because I charge money, but I'm not charging a ton of money. If you want top level mix, I can hook you up with these guys, and you can do that, go down that road if you want to. I have connections, but I'll show you how I do it. Hey, honey. I'm recording a video right now, so you're going to be in it. So where was I? That's my son Ethan, and he is home, and it's always good to see him. He is a musician as well. If you need some beats, he was good at that stuff, making beats for more modern hip-hop stuff. Mostly what I do is rock, drums, folk. That's what I specialize in. Rock and roll. So I'm a rock and roller. I dress in black, and I like to hit stuff hard. Yeah, so I mix it, and then mastering, I release everything on CD Baby. I recommend them because they also handle the publishing part. The publishing is where artists get paid for the use of their music anytime it's streamed. CD Baby Pro release, which I definitely recommend. It's a little bit more money. They take care of collecting royalties. I stick my song on all my TikToks and my movie reviews. I also do these movie reviews, which are ridiculously bad and short, but I love going to movies, and I want to share my opinion. So on my Everyday Movie Buff channel, I put my own song from the Forrest Williams Democracy, which is Scott Maybe and Matt DiMatteo and I doing music, and I get like $10 like every month or so for putting that music on those videos, and I've only got a few thousand views. So I mean, it's worth it to have CD Baby Pro and have them get your publishing, or else you're not going to make money. The point was, I use them, and they have a mastering place that they use. They've been connected to that I've used before. That it's not that much money. It was $100 back then. It's only $49 now. It's ridiculous because they got to compete with all this online AI and everything. It's called SoundLab. It's on CD Baby, and they do an excellent job. So I send it off for mastering. I don't have confidence in mastering, even though I've done it before. It came out okay. I don't listen to it and say it's horribly mastered, but I think it probably could have been better, even though there's lots of tools on Logic and online to do it all by yourself now. I'm gonna pay the $50 and have somebody else listen to the music and have different ears on it and do a mastering job. If I can afford a couple $100, I would go with Mayor Applebaum, who I've used before, who's great. Friend that we've used on the Forrest Williams Democracy stuff. Bob Guido. I hope I'm saying his last name right. I'll put it up on the screen. He's another great one out of Canada. So mastering's done. You get it. You love it. It's awesome. Now what do you do? Now you got to release it. So like I said, CD Baby is good. Releases it to Spotify, Apple, Tidal, all the different things. It even throws it on YouTube. If you got to make artwork, it's got to be a certain DPI, 3000 by 3000 DPI square. You got to make, and then you want to promote it on social media, put it on your Facebook at least, make a video with it if you can. If it's not a live video, just a lyric video is good. I recommend making a little video. I can help you with that as well, and put it on Facebook, put it on YouTube, create a channel, create a page, and then you want to run Facebook ads to get some eyes on it. Unfortunately, this world is all about advertising. You need to advertise it. And we used to have big labels doing that with tons of money. If you don't have that, you need to spend at least a little bit, not a lot, on advertising. I can help you with all that. So with that being said, if you're an independent artist and you're looking to take your ideas and your music to the finish line and get it released and have it sounding great, hit me up on Sound Better, or producemusicathomenow.com is my website, and my email is producemusicathomenow@gmail. Send me a message on Facebook. I've got Facebook page, Big Wreck Classic, which I put up old pictures of Ian, Dave, and myself and Brian, and about the old days. Got Produce Music at Home Facebook. Any way you want to sending me an email. It's fun. And I hope you're all well and healthy. And here is a deep dive, the song Better Weather by my friend Dave. Okay, so I'm here in my little control room. I got my power amps, which are Carver PM300s that power these Yamaha NS10s, and these JBL LSR32s. They help me with the bass. These help with the mids. And I got my volume control, which is nice. Preamps, these are Calrec 1061s. These are API with Melcors, early API Melcors. These are the BAE 1073s that I'm talking about that you want to grab if you can. These are the actual vintage version, not the new Phoenix Audio. That's an old company. It doesn't exist anymore. I got a Yuri 1178. I run the drum overheads, the vintage 87s through these right into the recording. I commit to that. And then we've got the M1 John Hardy preamp, which is a great clean preamp. It's fantastic. And I use a couple of preamps that are included in this Focusrite Red 16 line. So you got 16 inputs, 14 preamps that I got here, plus I use 2 in there, so 16 total. Here is Sound Better, where I first met Dave. This is how the song started. Where is it? And it's acoustic with his vocal. A Google Drive that he had set up to send the tracks back and forth. So, there's the drums I sent him. There's SM57 on a real amp, and there's some tracks. So we use that to go back and forth. You can also do that in here. Obviously, he sent these through Sound Better. Whatever you want to do, whatever's easiest for you. Google Drive's cool, it's all in one spot. With Sound Better, you have to find the message that you attached it to, so it's a little bit easier with Google Drive or Dropbox or something like that. And then, so let's listen to the chorus on that. Turn up the chorus. While I open up Logic, I'm going to open up Logic.
Waiting for the sun in the morning. Trying to sing out, but no one cares. Yeah, 'cause when we're gone, people are alive till the evening. Their shoulders held so strong. I'm feeling, but I feel to leave it.
So you get the idea, the acoustic and vocal version to go on, and then what it ended up being was, I want to make sure this is set up right. I took that off. Put the limiter back on here. I took the limiter off for mastering on this stereo out. This is the first step, Dave and whoever's following along. On the master, I have SSL. Like, this is the SSL 4000 master bus. This thing makes everything sound so good. You set it on 30 for the attack, and the release as fast as it goes. 2-to-1 ratio. I turn on the analog. I don't touch this. And you just put the threshold so that it just tickles it a little bit. I'll show you. See, it's just tickling it a little bit. It tickles. Here's the loudest part of the song. That's as much compression as I got on the master. And then after that, you have to do this to get it loud for people to listen to on emails and stuff. A quick mastering thing. This is an L3 multi-maximizer. I just usually put it down to about -7. Put the ceiling at 0.01. That way it won't clip. That's it. You just want to stop it from clipping and increase the loudness. I want to let you hear what the song sounds like now. This has not been mastered yet. It's got my fake mastering on here.
Moving along with your thoughts, that's all there really is. Microbes are invading your heart. I only feel the bad ones. Every day's been looking behind. It kills the
So, first thing I did was mix the drums. Let me open up the drum little folder here. You can make folders in Logic, so it collapses all the drums down into one. I got 15 mics. I got the hi-hats, snare top 2, a snare bottom, hall mic, which is the PZM, modded PCMs that I sell on eBay, room mics, these are C412s, in, kick out, tom 1, tom 2, tom 3. Kick in is a D12, kick out is a Neumann U87 vintage, floor tom is a Sennheiser 421, overhead, snare and floor. These are Neumann U87 vintage setup with the Glyn Johns setup. You can look that up online. I love it. Hi-hats. First thing I do is make sure the gain is where you want to be. I record things really hot, and I had to turn the gain down on each channel, probably about 15 dB. You don't want it to get over -6 down here. You could see, and generally around -18 to -6. Don't want anything going into the red. You want to keep everything sounding good and not distorted all the way through the chain. So the first thing I had to do was do a lot of these gain reductions. You can do it here, or you can do it on the waveforms itself. It doesn't, little slight differences between the two, but we won't get into that right now. And then, so the hi-hat, let's play the hi-hat, shall we? Such a cute little sound. We got an SSL, this is another 4000 emulation. I've got the high pass filter, so it takes the low end out. So if I take that off, you'll hear all the drums. Sounds pretty cool, but I just want to hear the hi-hat. So I cranked it all the way up to 350 hertz. I did nothing here, I did nothing there, and nothing there. I did nothing as far as EQ. The compression is on 1 to 3, and it's not hitting it at all. But it is there, but I'm not really doing much of anything here except high passing it. And then, then I did some EQ. I took out a ton of this. You're gonna typically take a lot of this mid-range, lower mids out of almost everything. If you put it back, you'll hear. Sounds like a cardboard box. Actually, I'm gonna save this as a new version. Every time you go and make a new version, like a different mix or whatever, you want to go to Project Alternatives and create a new alternative. Call it Messing Around. We don't want to affect our good mix. Do I want to save the changes to the mix 3? No, I do not. All right, so that's it for the hi-hat. The top snare, we have gain. We won't talk about that again. Then I've got the SSL 4000. I high passed it, which means took the lows out past 80. So some of the low end. A lot of the low end, you can't even hear it when I turn it off. So it's just taking out some low rumble that you may not even hear. And then I put in some 8000 on the top end, because it's a nice little, see without it, 8000. Took out some 0.62. That's that boxy stuff. Ow. Goodbye. So I took out some, I'm leaving that 250. 250? Sometimes you actually put 250 up, but I took it out for a snare drum. Yeah, it just was ringing weird. And then I put in some 150 for the low end on the snare drum. See without it. Add some chunk to it. And then I've got the compressor set to 3 to 1. It's catching about 3 dB on the compressor. The release for drums, always fastest release. And the threshold I'm just moving until I capture a couple of those. Oh, what a great sounding microphone by itself. Not. Alright, so here's the snare 2. The snare 2 mic. That's a C12A AKG. What a great mic. One of my favorite mics. It's a tube mic, so you can hear the tube juiciness in there. You hear the tubes? I love that. It's a great snare mic. It's like about 6 inches away from the snare. So all I did with that is I put on a Neve 1073 emulation from Shep. Put some 12K up, get that snap on the snare drum. Oh, isn't that great? Gets that nice snappy snare sound. And again, I took out 360. Sounds like a cardboard box. Ow, ow, ow. Go away, please. And then I turned up 220 bass to get some. You can hear the bass drum in there too. And that was it for that guy. Next mic, I got snare bottom. You get that real snap from the snare bottom. I high passed that at 80. I added a bunch of 8 to get that snap on the bottom. I added 6,000. I put in a little bit of 200 down to the bottom end. The compressor 3-to-1. It's not even touching it. Not even touching it. What else did I do? That's it. Most of the mixing is levels, right? You got the levels all down here. Mixing it just level wise. And then automating those levels here and there in the mix. It sounds like the drums just got turned down a little bit, like an automated thing. Here's my secret weapon. That's the PZM. The PZM out in the hall. Adds a lot of excitement. That one is going into this, where I high passed it. So I took off the high end, trying to get rid of the cymbals basically, so I could emphasize that crack in the hallway. And then I put on this thing. This is a thing I learned in Canada with Chris Wardman and Matt DiMatteo. This is a Compex emulation of a Compex. It's made by Boz Labs. It's called the Plus T 10 dB compressor. It's a emulation of a Compex. It makes that whole cracky sound. Takes that. Of course, it's gonna get louder, but it gives that ka. It does that thing, which we all love. At least I do. All right, then we got the room mics. These are the 412s out in the room, about 6 or 8 feet away in the room in a stereo pair, about 6 feet off the ground. Same settings on both of them, so I'll just review one of them. Again, I think I put the SSL on everything, brings it all together. Like it's like you're mixing through an actual SSL 4000, so why not just put everything through it? The high pass, we got 10,210, turned up 3 dB, 280 down 3.5 dB, that box, nothing on the low end. We got the compressor working just a little, just tickling it. Yep, on every drum mic I put the SSL and I tickle it with the compressor. Kick in, we've got the SSL, of course, tickle, tickle, tickle with the compressor. 3-to-1. I took the low end out at 38, which is a super, super, super low end that you can't hear on most speakers. I took that out. These guys go down to like 37, so anything below that I just get rid of because it can blow up your speakers, blow up your mix. It gets in the way. I put a ton of 4.76, 4,760. I put that up 11.5, and then I put 4.32, 4,320 up 6.6. Ooh, I took a ton of 680 out. See, something just got automated. Watch this guy. Watch this guy. See, it's coming down by itself because I programmed that. to go up and then come back down, and a big part for the drums. Drum crush is like this parallel compression thing. It adds growl, more of that ka sound from the hall mic. And blend that in with the other stuff. Parallel compression. I can't go too deep on this stuff, I apologize, but look up parallel compression. You're mixing a highly compressed, exciting sound in just underneath the main sound. And that's it for that guy, for those guys. Oh wait, no, there was something else. There's a couple more things on the kick drum. There's this Puig Tech. It's a emulation of a Pultec EQ. Wow, these things are awesome. So it's got, I set it at 60 and put it up at 5, and then this attenuation it's like a cut right after the boost. You gotta look that up too, man. I can't get it all into this stuff. Pultecs cut and boost at the same time. It's freaking awesome. And then I put more click on it, the 5K. That's the click, more click. Give me more click. And I also cut at the same time over next to it. That's the kick. And then I put it into its own little compressor, a good one for kick drum. This is DBX 160. Great compressors for kick and snare. It's just tickling it a little bit. Compressors on 4:1. The input output gain, you just want to set it so it tickles it on the threshold. See how it just goes over there? This means it's over the threshold. This is under. So you're just tickling it. We love to tickle our compressors. They like it. They like getting tickled. And then we got the outside bass drum. This is the U87. One of my favorite ones. If you want just one drum mic, oh, maybe this one. If it wasn't EQ'd. Okay. So I got the low end coming off. I got the low end rolled off at 39. I've got 8K, 8,000 up 5. This one I'm taking 9 dB off at 500. That's that box again. And I'm tickling it with the compressor at 3:1 again. And then I go into the Sheps 1073, kind of staying consistent with what I use. I got SSL going into the 1073, and then going into a compressor if I need an extra compressor beyond the SSL. And the kick out has got a little extra 12K. I've taken a little bit out of the boxy sound, but the low mids on this particular mic sound good. You don't want to mess with them too much. And I love to boost a little bit of 110 hertz on this drum. That's it for the kick out. Toms, Tom 1, again, cutting the low end off at 60 hertz, adding 8 dB of 8K, 8,000. That's it. And then tickling with the compressor, probably. Yep. Same thing. I use the same for all the toms. I put them together on this bus, so you send them to a separate bus that you can control just the toms. So if I want to turn the toms up and down, I can just turn the toms up and down. And then I took out a ton of that boxy stuff on the toms, on all 3 of them, and then I put another SSL on it, put 8K, a ton of 8K, and then I took out some boxy here, low mid of 290, and then I added 3.8 dB of 123. Interesting frequency to pick. There's no compression on here. I didn't do any more compression. I turned it off, pretty much. And that's that for the toms. Oh, floor tom, same thing. Floor tom gets a little bit different treatment. This guy gets a little... Oh, I didn't boost it at all. He got the same treatment. Yeah, it depends. He's getting tickled, compressor tickle. And then floor tom, boosting at 110, cutting at 360, and that's it. If you got good recordings, you don't have to do as much. Overhead snare. This is the U87s and the Glyn Johns position over my drums. So one's over my head at the snare, and one's over down near the floor tom. Again, you look that up, and then I run it through the 1178. And it's here. I'm adding some EQ before. I'm actually committing old style to EQ. I've got a tiny bit of 10K. Then, so you can see I'm cutting 390, that boxy frequency, and I'm actually boosting 56, the low end, on these mics. Some people will say do not put low end in your overheads, but I have a couple sets of overheads, and these, the Glyn Johns, they used to use just these mics for a drum sound. That's a big part of the drum sound, just those two mics. I had a problem with the ride cymbal, so I put a de-esser on it. Usually use these on vocals, they get rid of that and they can get rid of that on cymbals as well. So I put it on the ride side because I had that when I was hitting the bell on the ride cymbal, it was just killing me. That right there, without it, it hurts. See, tamed it a little bit, and then I got, oh wow, imagine that. I've got a SSL 4000 again. I didn't do anything with the high pass, low pass. I did 2.7 up at 8K. That's it. And I'm tickling the compressor again. Did this, like I said, this is parallel compression. It's called Crush. It sounds great by itself if you just want to like listen to drums all smashy and stuff. We like that. This is going through, so I send the bass drum and the snare drum and a little bit of overheads. You can hear that nice, sounds like tubes. It's this thing. It's a Fairchild. It's called the Puig Child. It's JJP's version. It is a emulation of a Fairchild 670 stereo. You can see I'm whacking the hell out of it. That's a lot more than tickling. When you do this colored compression in parallel, you want to smash the heck out of it. So without it, it sounds like that. Kind of adds this extra reverb to it. It's just so cool. Alright, so then we got the acoustics. Sound great. Such a good job at recording these. Sounds so good. Again, the BAE helped with this. Wow, they sound beautiful. Acoustics. Oh, I got nothing. I have nothing on the channels themselves because they were recorded so well. And then I put them over here in their little acoustic bus. Oh, and this is the best for these gentle instruments. Just tickle it. The beautiful, beautiful guitars. Oh my god. So you put the LA2 on there. And then again, I put a SSL. And oh yeah, I turned up 8K on these SSLs. Are so beautiful. There's without the 8K. You hear the beautiful high end. I cut 600 out of it. 6 dB of 600. Nothing done down here. Yep, it's tickling it with the compressor, just barely. And that's it for the acoustics. They're just freaking gorgeous. I did some automating with the, just for volume. So these are all volume changes. And we'll get in, well, why don't I just explain that. In the back in the day, you had to have 1 million people on a board and actually move the faders. So here's part where the drum crush part just goes up in a portion. You can just write it in automation and it'll do it. It'll remember it for you. So you don't have to, there's just no way you can mix without this stuff all by yourself without automation. So automation is key. For more details, look it up, but you can write it all in. There's one with a lot of automation, up and down. It's also great. You turn it off or on at the beginning. Sometimes you just want to turn off things to get rid of noise or whatever. Right there, I have this track, the bass completely off until it comes in right there. Great for that stuff too. The bass goes here, and then it goes down 2B, then it goes back to where it was. It's pretty consistent through the whole song. Vocals and other things have a lot more automation on them. And that's what most of mixing is the levels, there's the volume changes. Now, we're going to move on to, bass. Why don't we do bass? Bass. Bass sounded great through that BAE. Is here. There's the gain again. SSL 4000 again. I cut the low off at 80 to make room for the bass drum. We give the bass like 80 to 100 to live in, and the bass drum 80 and below, 60 to 80 to live in usually. It's just a good way to make all the bass things fit together a little bit, give them their own space. I've got 15 dB up at 1810. A ton of that gives that pick sound. Hear it? Oh, it sounds great. I actually boosted the cardboard box sound at 600. It's the bass in the bass instrument. It sounded good. Sounds a little flat, a little lifeless without it. And then I got 7.6 dB at 2470, got 6 dB at 100 low end, and then tickling the compressor at 3 to 1 with the medium release. And what else we got on there? Then we put a 1176 emulation, the Waves CLA 76 on the bass. It is just tickling it. You can see it just barely moves. It's set at 4 to 1. Oh, look at that. I used the bass preset. So there you go. Sometimes you can just use a preset. That works great. That was it for the bass. What do we got next? We got guitars. We got a dirty amp simulator here. They were a little fuzzy, so I actually took some high end off. 3,470, well, around, it's exactly 3,470. I took almost 12 dB of this stuff. I don't know if you can hear it. It's just this staticky, buzzy stuff, which is cool, but it didn't work for this. It's not bad. And then I put some 7K in. That's that. Gives a little sparkle on the top. Took out 200, 3 dB at 200, and we added in some 150, 3 dB at 150. And I'm sure I'm tickling the compressor at 2.5 to 1. There it is. Oh yeah, one thing I just want to review quickly is making sure your drums are all in phase. Just quickly, when you're doing drums, make sure all your mics are in phase. What you do is you gotta stretch it out so you can see the actual waveforms. See how they're going up and down there? See how the kick drum right there, it's the waveform starting down. You gotta make sure the other kick drum is starting down, or else if that one starts up right there, they will cancel each other out. You gotta make sure your drums are in phase. That's a whole nother thing. You gotta look that up too. Go on YouTube. Make sure all your drums are in phase. That's the first thing, or else they'll never sound right. All right, what are we doing? Doing guitars. Basically, I did the same thing on all those fuzzy guitars. I just took some of that fuzz out, added a little top end, and then I sent them to their own dirty guitars. They all got put into the CL3A. These are famously used on guitars. They love guitars. Guitars love the CL3A. It's probably just tickling it. Yep. Tickle, tickle, tickle. more tickling of compressors. So put the other guitars on them, the cleaner guitars that are done with the regular mics. The SM57 on a actual cab. Clean guitars. Oh, they're in their own little box here. There's a good example of a cleaner guitar with an actual microphone. What did I do to that? I did nothing. Nothing. I did put them in their own little bus for clean guitars, I believe, to give them, put the CL3A on them as well. Yeah, clean guitars. Yep. They're getting tickled by that same compressor. And then low pass. So I'm cutting the low pass 193. It's very specific. That kind of gets it out of the way of other things, gives it its own space. And then I have 2330. I'm taking 5 dB out. It's something that hurt my ears. There you go. Ow. That's it. Might be tickling the SSL compressor. Nope, I'm not. I shut it off. So it's just going to the LA3A. Now, oh, you hear that? The reverb and delay, which are on separate buses. Before I learned how to mix better, I used to put all that reverb and delay on the actual vocal track. And then so every time you turn up and down the vocal track, you turn up and down the delay. It was a disaster. Somehow I got it to work. Man, did I overwork back then. Learned a lot since then. So you put the vocals on their own track, and then you send them to the reverb and delay. And vocals. What did I put on vocals? Geez, I didn't... I put... On the individual tracks, I didn't put much on it. I put a de-esser to get rid of the S's that hurt, and then I put the SSL on. Let's see if we got... What do we got?
Try to sing out, but no
Lots of compression.
cares.
Lots of compression going on there. Almost 6 dB of compression on the SSL. I'm cutting out the low end at 63. I'm boosting 8000 at 7 dB. Cutting 620 by 6 dB. I'm cutting 2500 by 3 dB. Nothing on the low end. And I'm compressing it a lot at 3 to 1. Then it goes over here to a vocal bus where I'm putting more de-esser on there. Another de-esser. This comes after all that other stuff. Then I tickle it with the CLA2A, not even barely hitting it. Then I put it in, the 1176. This is the Blue Stripe version. It's an older one. And I put it on, I like this preset called Start Me Up. But all it's doing is putting in the all button. It means it's pushing all these buttons in. If you on the old units, if you pushed all those buttons in, it sounded freaking massive. It's hitting it pretty hard. Hitting it very hard. It might even, it's okay if it gets up there, all the way up there. That's fine. That's what we want. It adds excitement. I bet this one, if I take this one off, you'll probably hear the difference. Oh, it's adding some volume too, so it's hard to tell.
Keep her alive to the evening.
God, that's a beautiful compressor. I wish I had a real one, but then again, no, I don't. Then the vocals are going into the Puig Child, the Fairchild 670, the tube, yummy, smooth, gorgeous. It's just tickling it. And then what we got? Oh, then we got the Pultec. I am just adding 16,000, the very high end sheen. You hear that beautiful high end. And then I put a little bit of distortion on his vocal fuzz. Just a tiny bit of distortion. You can barely hear it, but it adds a little bit of grit to his voice. His voice is very clean, beautiful. Just thought I could use a little grit. And then from there, we send it to the reverb, Abbey Road plate reverb. Without it.
And now she's gone.
With it. And then we've got Then we've got a delay. Delay is a basic trick to do with vocals. A quarter note on the left and an eighth note on the right. It's really cool. I love it. Tons of people use it.
Try to sing out, but no one cares. Yeah, 'cause we're wrong.
So that's what that sounds like. Obviously, you gotta. It's mixed in really low. It's just you can barely hear it. I don't know if you can hear it much at all when you're listening to it, but it's there, and it helps, and it needs to be there. There's a second vocal that I have automated just to enhance certain words and double up on a couple. It doubles up on the whole ending, but it's in the background. It's just supporting the lead vocal, and that's that's it. It's a lot of work with the balance. Like, is the especially the vocals in the end. You just want to get it to sit just right, and Dave and I collaborated together. You need multiple ears on it. He's going to hear things I don't, and I'm going to hear things he doesn't. If you want to do this with me, hit me up. All right, bye.